Welcome to the Coach's Corner with Scott Hamilton, head coach at Paulding County High School. Coach, I want to talk about what's going on with the program and all of it. I've got to tell you, I saw an interview with Bear Bryant one time, and he said, I can't use a coach unless he knows more about football than I do. I said, that makes pretty good sense. I always had these delusions of grandeur about me being a head coach, and I was going to have an offensive coordinator that promised to score every time we had possession, a defensive coordinator that said he was never going to give up any points. My job would be real easy. I'm sure you had an offensive coordinator that scored every time with the first game against New Manchester, a defensive coordinator that didn't give up any points, and you're on top of the world. Is that the way it went?
Unfortunately, that's really not the way it went. And I call the play, so really I'm not the coordinator, so I probably should fire myself at this point. That's some things about coaching. There's a lot more involved in coaching, the details. Everybody looks. It's always easy for anybody, to second guess what goes on.
Sure.
And of course, any job you're depending on what a high school kid's going to do is always there's a lot to chance.
Yeah. Let's tell everybody what the result was last night, how your feelings are about that, and what you might, because the people that are watching this for the first time don't know what the outcome was, maybe.
We lost 21-13. And most things in high school sports, a lot of times is the team who makes the most mistakes is going to lose, and that's sort of what me, myself, kids, and the coaching staff sort of feel that we sort of made some critical mistakes across the game. They talk about stats, that we won the time of possession, we had more first downs, we had more total yardage, we outrushed them. We did all some of the things you think that would equal out to win, but we gave up 2 long plays and we had 1 critical turnover. Meaningful stats they talk about, a guy that I talked to a lot, a guy named Tony DeMayo, head coach, or former head coach at the University of Charleston, he said, you need to score more than 16 and win the turnover battle. We lost those 2 critical areas. A team that, if you have a team that's 16 or less, that you're going to win like 89% of the games. If you win the turnover battle, you win like 90% of those games. So we lost those 2 critical areas.
How bad was the turnover situation? How many turnovers did New Manchester give up, first of all?
They didn't turn the ball over at all.
Well, how about us?
Once, but it was at the 21-yard line, and that's, we lost 21-13. It was a bad time. We started out early in the game. We just took us a while. We're in a new offense, and it took us a while to sort of get things sort of rolling along a little bit. And, we spent the first period with 3 and out, and then we didn't play. And then they had a broken play that they ran 45 yards for a touchdown on the first play.
Oh, broken play, wow.
Yes, Florite missed the handoff, it appeared like, and then he scrambled around and made guys miss and scored.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
It sounds like with the stats that you've got a lot to build on and that you can really move forward in your preparation for the next game and all.
Yeah, we're going to the year, we got a junior running back named Thomas Sia. We thought, obviously, if you watch our team and watch, he's going to be a big part of what we do. But he had 27 carries for 124 yards, which is pretty good. It didn't break the long run, which we hope. He didn't ever get a lot of 15-yard runs, but we didn't get that 60-yard run out of him.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's one area we can improve on. And we've got, if we're a triple option team, Thomas was the one phase that was going. Our quarterback through our pitch, we didn't get going. So we've got those are some corrections we got to make.
Yeah.
If you're a triple option top team, you've got to have a triple to your team.
Yeah.
You can't be a single.
I see. Okay. What about the mistakes? It sounds like maybe some of them were mental mistakes and penalties. Talk about that a little bit, about what you can do to fix those problems, or
one of the things folks talk about, you make adjustments, you make things. You really don't do that as much in high school football. It's more about going back and getting better at something.
Okay.
I'm a big system believer. You got to have what do you do? Because critical part of the game, you're going to run your number 1 play, and what is your number 1 play? We're going to run the triple, and we've got to get better at that.
Okay.
So as we fix it, it wasn't just team wins, team loses. It wasn't just, the quarterback, say, not pitching the ball when he should. Our linemen contributed by not using, we do something called smart splits. We didn't employ our splits correctly. We missed, we didn't chip off to the back at the correct time sometimes. How allow that one guy, because offense, it's harder on offense to play because one guy screws up, blows the play up. Defense, one guy can do right, and you stop somebody. So
I
defense is really more about effort, and offense is more about perfection. So it's harder to do that stuff.
Well, it sounds like you got some stuff to build on, and there's some positive things, and you know what to work on with the mental mistakes and the things you described so far today. Is that fair?
Yeah, and the big part of just us at Paulding County, this is with the Kitchwington, and I went through this in high school as well, is you've got to get over the culture of, oh no, here we go again, to, oh, here we go again. When the schools that win consistently don't really think they're going to lose, and they win sometimes when they shouldn't. Good programs do that, they win. When you're trying to fix the program, you're not as confident about what you're doing, so you don't pull it off.
I want Coach Shaw to chime in here in just a minute, but I want you to talk about who you're playing next week and what your expectations are and what your challenges are.
Yeah, we played a week early. We drawn a 10-game schedule out the gate, so trying to find an off week somewhere. We moved the New Manchester game up, so we'll play Hiram in their opening game this week at our place. So it'll be Chris Brown's first job. Congratulations, Chris, for your head coaching job. We'll be playing them for their first game, our second game. Big County rival, it's our home opener. So, we're pretty excited about it, going into this game. I think this is one of the things that, each game is super important to us. We've got, because each win will build on winning again.
I got you. Coach Shaw, talk about the offense and Hiram next week and your reflections about New Manchester.
I think we had some mental mistakes. I think we had some opportunities we didn't capitalize on. I think we played overall a decent game. I think we know what we need to work on going into Hiram. We see some opportunities, that's for sure. Okay. I think the main thing right now is, like Coach Hamilton said, keeping the kids from getting into that mode of, oh no, here we go again, and us not believing that we've got to just keep churning on.
Well, these kids can and will win, won't they?
They will.
Yeah.
Good group of kids.
It's one of the things too. If you're coaching effort with kids, it's bad, because that means that because that's, as a kid or a person, you can control your effort and attitude. That's something that everybody can control. God determines sometimes how fast you are and how tall you are. You determine the amount of effort you give. Our kids are giving great effort. Now it's up to us as coaches, which I told the kids that's our fault. My fault, being the head coach, is we got to fix some of the small things, as in why we didn't block this way. That's something that there's a disconnect between me as a coach, them as a player, and that's my fault. I've got to get that across. Doesn't matter how much a coach knows, how much that kid knows.
I hear you. So, let's talk about the offense just a minute. Thomas, and I have a hard time pronouncing his last name. I've seen him, and boy, he looks like a real super athlete. And you said he had 27 carries and 125 yards.
4.6 yards a carry.
Tell me about the offense overall. Jason, how many total yards do y'all have?
We had
193 yards rushing and 47 yards passing, which obviously passing is one of the things we've got to get better at.
Okay.
We're going to run the football first, but we've got to be able to complete passes at opportune times. At third and long, we're not going to go out there and throw the ball, and we got to throw it on 2nd and 5 and make people pay when they crowd the box.
Yeah.
Because they're going to come up and try and stop Thomas.
Okay. What else can you tell us about the offense and what you plan to do next week?
What we plan to do is going to be a secret. We couldn't tell you. If we did, we'd be in trouble, wouldn't we?
Well, if you watch us play, it's pretty obvious we're going to do. We're going to run. I'm a huge system believer. Okay. I think programs are good around the nation, or guys that have systems. Mark, Rick, and Georgia, they're a pro-I team. I'm a Tech fan, if those don't know. But Paul Johnson, the triple option. Brask in the heyday was the I option. Steve Spurrier's been in the fun and gun. People that, to me, that win consistently have identities. Mike Leach, his air raid system. Those guys that have systems, to me, win long term. So we're going to do what we do. And playing Hiram, I know that Chris Brown is going to be in a 3-5 stack and blitz 85% of the time. There's no guess of that. They're going to do what they do. We're going to do what we do.
See what happens.
I don't know very much about football compared to what you guys know. You can look at my hair and tell that when I played, it was a whole different world now. But what I would guess is that when you got somebody blitzing like that, screen passes might be employed frequently. Is that a possibility?
We try to run them out with a triple because, if you're playing, it makes them, when we run the triple, it makes them play assignment football. If they're guessing and gambling, then we've got to make them pay. Through the run, it's a lot of this is the same ideas. We're trying to, when that guy makes, he's in the wrong gap or he blitzes and we block that blitzer, then we should gash him for a long run.
Okay.
Typically you try blitzing a triple team is a little scary for you.
Okay, and you've got the runner that can get the long run.
Yeah,
So,
and then by our quarterback and our pitch players, but that's where we've got to extend the option on out.
Okay. Now, Coach, what about Hiram's offense? What are they running, and how are you going to deal with them?
And we're just starting to watch film this morning. We left there to come here. Hiram Trish has been in the wing tee, or Andy Dorsey, and I played for Jimmy, his daddy, and he's now become the AD. So they're having a new offensive coordinator, but I think they're still running the same system from what I watched, just a little bit. 15 plays this morning,
Okay.
That's something that people don't know about high school football coaches. Friday night, we spend time watching the game film from that night, download it on the computer, but then we're working either Saturday morning or Sunday afternoons too. So it's either 6 or 7 day a week job during the season. So you're going to work 80, 90 hours a week.
You mean it's not 9 to 5 and go home?
No.
How many hours a week did you say?
Anyway, 90 to 95 during the season.
Is that just you, or is that the whole staff?
That's everybody. As a head coach, I have to do things that, sometimes like Jason's here with me this morning, I try to split up the other stuff that I got to do with them. We designate one coach a week for late stay. Parents always don't come get their kids on time either. So typically, the earliest you're going to leave school on any given day is 7:30 at best. Yeah. On a bad night, you're leaving at 8:30, 9.
Yeah.
If it's a field paint night, you're leaving at 11:30.
Okay. I want to talk about something other than the field and the performance on the field. Do you see the kids developing and growing along through playing organized sports? I know when I was a kid, I played, and I feel like that was a great benefit and asset to me. How are you seeing the kids develop and all?
That's one thing, and I think Jason will back me up on this. I'm a big kid-driven person. I'm a personality or people-driven person. Win and losses are important. Don't get me wrong when I say this, but to me, the success of the kids off the field is more important than successes on the kid. I was in a terrible mood Thursday. We'd had a bad practice on Wednesday. So Thursday I was still upset about Wednesday. Walking back to the field, and there's a cop. Typically when you see a cop, you're going, that's not the guy I want to see. But it's a former player of ours, Alex Hicks, who really grew up had a very rough life growing up. Lived in Miami for a while. Actually got shot.
Wow.
Is a game thing. Moved up here to school. Just had a rough life, but now he's played high school football, and it's one of the things you as a coach, you spend a lot of time with those kids. Picking kids up, making sure they have food sometimes, they have clothes sometimes. Do a lot of things where you're involved in their lives, and you see a kid like that now, but he's a super successful member of our society, Paulding County Sheriff's Deputy. To me, that's a win. I'd rather see those kids like that than I would win a state championship any day of the week. That's not because my goal is not a ring, because that's a little self-serving.
Yeah.
My goal is to watch kids. And through the years, I've seen some kids that I feel like I have helped. And I won't say egotistically, and Jason sort of feels the same way. And I openly say that all the time about it. I want coaches that want to be around the kids.
Okay.
Because that's what I want to support. Winning a football game is not going to matter in 15 years. The fact that you have to get that kid off to college, and Jason does all the recruiting, all the recruiting for us, and talking to schools and things like that. Counseling kid, hey, you need to stay in school. Hey, you don't do this.
Yeah.
To me, that's more of a win.
And we get to see them with the Junior Patriot program from an early age to when they graduate. So we're able to have more of an influence on the player and the student than normally a program would.
Jason, what grade are they in when you get them in the freshman program?
They're in the 9th grade.
14.
And you're going to see them through the next 4 years.
We'll see them through the next 4 years. But before that, we've seen them in the 6th grade, and 7th grade, and 8th grade levels. We've been able to spend a little time with them.
12 years old.
and actually when they come to us, they know who we are.
And so you've already got a relationship
Yes, sir.
going in. Oh, okay, that's great.
So they have a comfort level coming to us with things that they need help with, and it helps with our rapport and our, camaraderie to make sure things are getting done.
Getting ready to wind up here in just a moment, but I want to ask you about the home field advantage. You're playing at your place this Friday. Does that make a difference?
It makes things easier, just getting ready for the game. Like I drive the bus to games, and things like that stuff. But it makes it easier to get started. You have all your stuff there. And it sounds silly, but you have everything, bathrooms to your tape, to not have to pack. It's like going on vacation and playing.
Yeah.
You forget something, then you're, oh, I don't have this, or it's not as comfortable. So that's a plus. One thing I want to mention too, so we're going to reopen the Hill. If you, both Paulding County people knows what that is, where you can park and tailgate at the games.
I have been there actually.
Yeah.
It's been decades ago, but I have been there.
Yeah,
it's
so
back.
Yeah, it's
All
back.
right.
So
All right.
we're
That's
excited
good.
to see that show up, and I see a bunch of cliche. Well, I see a bunch of trucks parked up there, ready to watch the game.
All right. Jason, any final comments? And then I'm going to give Coach that opportunity, and we'll be off the air.
I mean, we're the original Paulding County High School, and we need everybody to come out and support us at the Hiram game and at all our home games. The Hill should be a big deal. The kids have worked hard. We had a tough loss last night, but it's something that I think it's just a speed bump, and we're fixing to see some great things.
Well, I like to hear that kind of talk. You're talking positive energy there, a good attitude, and I like that. That's going to make a difference. Coach, final comments?
Yeah, just reiterating what Jason says. Last night wasn't the result we wanted, but really believe the kids are starting to take ownership of the team. That's what you want them to do, to understand that, hey, it's your team, but you take it, you control it, and I like to step back and let them do it, because when that happens, when it's a intrinsic motivation, that's the most powerful motivation. Motivated by yourself. I think our kids are getting there. That's what's going to make sure. If you can't do it, if your dad wants to be a doctor, it's not as important. If you want to be a doctor, you're going to achieve that goal. That's what I want the kids. I want the kids to want to win, and then it's going to come out.
All right. Well, thank you, guys, and we'll look forward to next week, and we'll see what you can do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.